The quote here, in the event of childlessness, it is the duty of every SS leader to adopt racially valuable children, free of hereditary illnesses, and inculcate them in the spirit of our philosophy. It is one of the regrets of the 20th century that Himmler killed himself with a cyanide pill before he was obliged to comment on the scale of his thinking. Tim, it is so striking. When I read about him today, he was an ordinary, completely nondescript human being. There's nothing about him that I can find that suggests monster. You've looked at him from your education. Could you find a hint of the scale of this outrage?
I think it's very hard to know Himmler, the man, what goes on inside. All I can do is judge on his writings and on his actions, both of which were monstrous. And as you say, he was, to look at, an utterly unprepossessing specimen. He certainly didn't look Aryan himself. And yet, this small, rather uninspiring man wielded huge power and perpetrated huge evil.
Ingrid, in pursuit of Erica, who is this shadow in her life, goes on journeys advised by well-meaning people who are guiding her, investigators, understandings. And she goes in 2002 to a place called Hadamar, which is between Köln and Frankfurt. And she meets other Lebensborn survivors. And they begin to tell a story that includes bizarre interpretations of ceremony. For example, a woman named Ruthhild tells the story of a silver cup from Himmler. What is that, Tim?
Himmler's bizarre beliefs extended, as you say, to ceremonies. So because the SS ran Lebensborn, and because the children were born into Lebensborn or were taken into Lebensborn, they had to be taken into the SS, and they had what is a perversion of, I suppose, the Christian baptism ceremony, in which SS officers and daggers and busts of Hitler and strange chants were made over the baby as it was taken into the custody, I suppose, the guardianship of the SS.
And Himmler gave each mother a silver cup with the name of the child and his name, Heinrich Himmler, Godfather. Have you seen one of these cups, Tim?
I've seen photographs. He gave a cup for children who were born on his birthday. So not all of the Lebensborn.
And what are those cups in circulation in Germany today?
Well, there are people who still have them. Yes.
It's let me read what Himmler designed this ceremony. We believe in this to be said over the birth of a child. We believe in the God of all things and in the mission of our German blood, which grows ever young from German soil. We believe in the race carrier of the blood and in the Führer chosen for us by God. Tim, this is worse than I ever imagined when I just concerned myself with armies and panzer units and the Luftwaffe. This is staggering madness that was going on.
Yeah, and you find in the book that we've reproduced photographs that were taken at these ceremonies, and I find those photographs truly chilling.
Right, it felt like Rosemary's Baby. Remember that movie from the 20th century? You go through the wall. And you discover that people are worshiping the devil and he's real. I mean, that's what I felt like. We were wandering into Rosemary's Baby here, except for you've reproduced the documents. And not even that movie went this far. Now, Ingrid, in Pursuit, these are babies born in Lebensborn. And their mothers were single mothers or seduced, or they were part of the SS apparatus, or they were kidnapped or persuaded from other conquered countries. But she finds a term, Germanization. What does she make of that, Tim?
At first, she doesn't know what to make of it, and she has to go away and research. And one of the things I should say about Ingrid is she's a really wonderful detective. The detective work she has done has been stunning. And very brave. And she discovers that what Germanization meant is the children who were stolen from the countries which Germany conquered, the countries in the east, those children were, quotes, racially valuable under Himmler's criteria. They were taken into Lebensborn and then were farmed out to foster parents, good Aryan Nazi foster parents, who would bring them up as good little Aryans, good little Nazis, and their original identities were erased, all the documents of that were destroyed, and they were Germanized. They were made Germans.
And yet the people, the adults in their 50s and 60s she meets, have memories of this sense of being dislocated. You bring to us a number of them: Guntram Weber, Helga Karau, Gisela Heidenreich, Barbara Rasiorkiewicz. All of them have a memory of where they came from and where they were stolen from. But they have, in some instances, they have been able to find their parents. And Ingrid is looking for her parents, or looking for where she comes from, because no one solved it for her. There are scenes, though, that are not consistent with happy reunions, because, and that's what I first came across when I thought, Ingrid, be careful looking for this. When we come back, there are Lebensborn children who discover after their investigation that their fathers are monsters. The book is Hitler's Forgotten Children. Ingrid von Oelhoffen and Tim Tate are the authors. And Tim's movie, when you get to London, you can watch it, is Children of the Master Race. I'm John Batchelor. This is The John Batchelor Show.